Not too sure if I'm really feeling a hype stream today because, as I said, watching Canucks hockey feels a lot more like a chore rather than leisure, fun time anymore. That's just kind of my own personal opinion about it, so I don't know if I'm really feeling a hype stream today. But either way, today we're talking about Nikita Tryamkin, and we're going to be talking about mostly my own feelings towards the situation. Not what's set in stone, not what actually happened, but we're talking about how I feel about it, because how I feel about it, I feel really, really fishy about this entire Nikita Tryamkin thing. And you can go 2 points of views on this one, so that's what we're going to be talking about here today. A few days ago, maybe it was only 1 week ago, I'm not sure, we made a video talking about Nikita Tryamkin and how the Vancouver Canucks made it very clear that they wanted to sign this guy again, bring him back to the NHL, and see what this 6'8" behemoth on the blue line could do. Well, we have ourselves the conclusion to that because Nikita Tryamkin has signed a 2-year extension with the Automobiles Yekaterinburg in the KHL. He will be 28 years old when that contract expires, and once that contract does expire, boom, he is no longer Canucks property. So that's it. We're done. Nikita Tryamkin and the Vancouver Canucks, that relationship is pretty much no more, because by the time Tryamkin will have the ability to come back over to the NHL, hey, his rights with Vancouver, they're already expired. So, sayonara. Nikita Tryamkin, no more Vancouver Canucks talk here. And if you came here just for the news scoop, that's it. That happened yesterday. It's not really that big of a deal in my opinion because it's just a KHL guy re-signing with his KHL team. But the reason I wanted to talk about this here is because of how fishy it feels to me. Mostly because of some of the quotes we had from the parties involved after this was released. Todd Diamond, the agent for Nikita Tryamkin, made himself an appearance on Donnie and Dolly. It's the show run by Don Taylor and Rick Dollywall. It's a very good watch, by the way. You should check it out on Check TV. And on this program, what Diamond said about the Tryamkin signing with Vancouver kind of blows my mind as to how this entire thing comes about. Here are the tweets from Rick Dollywall himself. He says that Nikita Tryamkin signed in the KHL for 2 years. The Canucks tried to re-sign him, but the two sides could not agree to terms. After 2 years, Tryamkin is no longer Vancouver property. Okay, what's next? This is what Todd Diamond said. I told the Canucks what it would take for Tryamkin to sign with Vancouver on a 1 or 2 year contract. And the Canucks, in turn, told me what they could guarantee today. Todd Diamond says the gap was just too wide for Nikita Tryamkin. Nikita didn't want to wait and be in a situation like last year where the team didn't act and the KHL club had nearly exhausted its budget. And so from this point of view, from the way that Todd Diamond, Nikita Tryamkin's agent, is phrasing it, the Canucks and Tryamkin themselves, the parties, they were on two different sides. Tryamkin had his own preset idea as to what would suffice if a contract were to be signed, and the Canucks had their own idea that was too far apart. Tryamkin, with the insecurities as to what happened last year, where he waited to sign with Vancouver, and as a result, the KHL team that he eventually signed with nearly exacerbated all its money. He doesn't want that to happen again, so he's like, okay, screw it, I'm just going to sign with the KHL team again, going to get some money over here in Russia, and we'll sign for 2 years so we can become an NHL free agent soon. That sounds cool. That sounds normal. That sounds like something that could have happened in a proper contract negotiation. You could say that's good, bad, whatever. Whether or not KHL defenseman Tryamkin is coming back, I think the majority of Canucks fans would say it doesn't really matter. But this is where things get weird. Jim Benning was interviewed yesterday, and he said this about the Tryamkin signing. We were prepared to pay Nikita what he was asking for. But my understanding is that his decision in the end was based on wanting to stay in Russia rather than play in the NHL. And so now the gears are turning the other way. Okay, what? The Canucks would have been willing to pay Tryamkin what he wanted, but Benning is saying that Tryamkin just kind of wanted to stay in Russia instead? Does that mean that Nikita Tryamkin went out there and had his agents say all this stuff, talking about how they want to come back to Vancouver, how he's a better defenseman now, how he feels like he wants another shot at the NHL, just for the GM of Vancouver to come out and say, yeah, no, he didn't want to come back. He wanted to stay in Russia. Did Nikita Tryamkin use the Vancouver Canucks as leverage in his own KHL Automobiles Yekaterinburg contract extension talks? Because one of the issues that was laid out by Todd Diamond by Rick Dollywall, it says here, Tryamkin wanted financial security. He didn't want to wait. He didn't want to be unsigned for a good portion of the free agency period while waiting for the Canucks to sign a deal and having the KHL team that he might sign with instead use up all its money while the Tryamkin Canuck talks are happening. Would it not be possible for Tryamkin to say, okay, Avtomobilis Yekaterinburg, I might sign with Vancouver. Here, the contract talks. Todd Diamond's talking to Rick Dhaliwal. You guys want to keep me? You guys want to make sure that I stick around here? Give me some money. And according to Jim Benning, Tryamkin wanted more to stay in Russia than to actually go to the NHL because according to Benning, they would have been willing to pay what Tryamkin wanted, which directly contradicts what Todd Diamond, the agent, is saying, where he says that Tryamkin and the Canucks were two sides of different coins. What's going on here, dude? Somebody's got to be lying in these situations. It's either A, Tryamkin used the Canucks as leverage, or B, Jim Benning is lying. Again. Do I say again? Is that even a thing? Again? We know that the Vancouver Canucks general management has been very questionable as of late, and in terms of contract negotiations, that has been probably the biggest question mark of this entire tenure so far. But the Tryamkin part, is this another piece that we add? Is this more fuel to the fire as to the formula that says that Jim Benning is not that good of a GM when it comes to managing contracts? I've said it the entire time. The RFAs, the young guys, when they re-sign these guys, they're great contracts. Bo, Besser, Demko, good money right there. But everything else, not just the contracts they sign, but the contracts they don't sign, the Toffoli's and the Tanevs and all the other ones. Not to mention the contracts that you keep instead of potentially opening up spots for those guys. The contract management on this team has been so weird the past few seasons that I don't know whether to believe Todd Diamond in saying that Jim Benning and the Canucks were just far apart from Tryamkin, or do I believe Benning in saying that he just felt like Tryamkin wanted to stay home instead. If it's the latter, I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, Tryamkin would be given big minutes and a top role in Avtomobilis Yekaterinburg. He said that Vancouver smelled like weed, so I don't know if that's really something that he would want to come back to just based off of the way that he said it and the context of that situation. So, talk to me in the comments what you think about this Tryamkin weird signing thing, and I only say it's weird because of the circumstances around it. At the end of the day, the bare news is Nikita Tryamkin re-signs in Avtomobilis. He's not going to be a Canuck property prospect anymore because by the time that contract expires, his rights go away. He'll be 28 years old, he'll be a free agent, he'll be free to sign wherever he wants, and that includes any other NHL team not named Vancouver Canucks. Now you sit and wonder, oh boy, that 2014 NHL entry draft where the Canucks took Tryamkin. They took a whole bunch of other guys too. They took Jake Virtanen, whom we're not going to say anything about right now, over guys like Nick Ehlers or William Nylander. They took Jared McCann, who admittedly is doing pretty well right now in Pittsburgh, over David Pastrnak. They took Thatcher Demko, which is a very, very good pick, I'll say that. But in the third round, they took Nikita Tryamkin right before Warren Foegele. They also took him before Ilya Sorokin and Braden Point. So, you know, what's going on here? Talk to me in the comments what you think about the Canucks and the Tryamkin situation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't know if we're going to do a hype stream. We're going to talk about Canucks as well if anything of note happens in the game against Edmonton. I'm just kind of expecting Connor McDavid to light them up, and that will be it. Connor McDavid, 3 points. That's the prediction right here. 3 points for McDavid, 2 points for Draisaitl. Let's see it happen. If it's right, then I'm right, then cool. I want to see Connor McDavid hit 100, and because I'm so tuned out of this Canucks season now, I would not be opposed to letting my Vancouver Canucks go out there and give the guys some points to feast upon for that feat. Talk to me in the comments if you enjoyed. This was Josh Rolls 99, and bye.